We're back. So what we're going to do is, again with our Circles on Quilt Spinning Wheel 36, we're going to go around one more time. Remember, this started as a 5.5 inch motif, 2 3/4 from the center out each direction. We are now at 8 inches, 4 inches out from the center in each direction. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make it just a little bit bigger. I'm having fun just adding components to it and just trying to get ourselves to challenge ourselves with each template. So I could bring other templates in here, but I really want to push a little bit further with this one. Okay, so there's things we could do. We could come here and put that template down, and we could, come around and do motifs like this. But I want to do something just a little different. And to me, this looks very modern. And that's kind of the look that I was going for. I want to get something modern, clean, a little different. So what I'm going to do is before I put my foot down, I want to show you exactly how I am lining this up. Okay? Here is the hole for our tack. Here is the top of our template. Let me pull you up here so you can see better. Okay. Whoops, wrong way, Corgan. There we go. Here's the top of our template. So I'm going to put the hole for the tack right at the valley of our echo. So here's our first rotation here. This is our first rotation. Here is our echo. I'm going to line that hole up right on the echo. So what's happening here is I've got this straight line coming straight through my rotation here. And then I have this line, whoops, gotta go up one, coming straight through the center. So I'm going to bring my foot over. Now I'm going to revise you just a hair here so you can really see what's going on. Let's try, perfect. I'm going to bring my needle down right here, 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of my template on the last round of arcs that we put in. Lift my thread, my bobbin thread up. I do like to keep it under my template. Why? I don't know. I'm really not sure how I even figured that out, who taught me that. I don't remember, but I do know that that's the way I like to do it, and it keeps it out of my way. Okay, so there we are. We're lined up. I'm putting my needle down. This is a great time if you have a needle up, needle down function to put your needle down function intact. Okay, I'm going to take my 1 stitch in place. Don't forget to take that 1 extra stitch at the tip, and then we're going to work to the next arc, and we stop when we reach the next arc. And now we get to travel. Yeah. I'm going to take that out. Now, you certainly can use your 4-inch arc to travel, because I believe that's the one we used here. Absolutely. Or you could just travel. The question is, how far do we travel till we get to this spot? And I should have covered that first. I apologize. That is my mistake. So what I did was I went ahead and I marked this one so we could get an idea. And we're going to go 3/4 of an inch. So we're going to come I'm going to move you over here so you can see how I'm going to mark this. Okay, right over the top. You need to see better than that. Okay, there we go. From where the arcs and the first stars appear, we need to go from here in this direction 3/4 of an inch. So I'm going to go ahead and lay my ruler there. I'm going to put 2 inches here, and I'm going to go out 3/4 of an inch in that direction, and I'm going to come out 1/2, 3/4 of an inch in this direction. So 3/4 of an inch from here to here and from here to here. And what I want to do is, obviously we want to mark all of that before we start stitching, instead of like what I just did and waited till you started stitching. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to put a few more in, and then we're going to come back and we're going to travel. Again, using our spacing gauge and our 4-inch arc, we can travel in that manner. As long as we have that 1/4 inch all the way around, we know that we're going to be okay. If, however, you are a long-time free motion quilter, you probably don't even need the 4-inch arc to travel. The other thing, I think, if it's not perfect, it's okay. I don't see anything wrong with the little imperfection. I personally am consistently inconsistent. Yeah, that's a good way to keep your life. Consistently inconsistent. That keeps everybody guessing. Not really. Okay, so I'm going to line myself up, and as you can see, I need to come in. Whoa, I guess you don't see because I forgot to replace the camera where you needed to be. Okay, here we go. I apologize for that. And I'm going to pull you in one time. There we go. So what is going on now is, if I stop right on that mark, I can get, I need you to see this. I can get the tack hole lined up, but that does not line up my crosshair line here. So I'm going to take one more stitch. That looks like it's all I need is one more stitch. There we go. So now I am totally lined up. I'm going to go ahead, take my stitch in place, come up, take that extra stitch, come back down. Stop when you hit the line of stitching for the last arc that you put in. I'm going to take my template out, and again I'm going to show you because I thought I was showing you last time, but I wasn't. If you want to use that arc to travel, make sure you use your 1/4 inch spacing gauge. Okay, and you'll get a great travel. If you like to live dangerously, or you've been a free motion quilter for a number of years, you probably can freehand it. Okay, there we go, lined up, and again I need to come in just one little stitch here. I think will be enough. Okay, make that 2. Okay, there and there. Now we got it. Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Up we go again. One stitch, come down to the other side, and we're going to stop with our needle down. Oh, I'm sorry. Now I think I can bring you in a little bit. Now I could take my template off, and what we're going to do is we're going to come to the next mark. I want you to really see closely how you can put that 12-inch arc in there. I'm sorry, 4-inch arc. And now we're going to stitch till we get to our mark that we put on, which was 3/4 of an inch out from this point. Let's go ahead and line ourselves up. Wow, this one lined up great. And there we go. And that's what is going to happen. Some of them are going to line up really nice, and other ones maybe not so well. Okay, but you know, it's part of what we're dealing with here. When we are marking things, we think we're being very, very close, and sometimes we're just off a stitch or two can make a big difference. Okay, sorry. I know you didn't need to see my big old fat hand there. But what I'm doing here is I want to make sure I've got some marks. I want to go ahead and get them the rest of the way around. I would love to hear how you feel about this project, whether you've enjoyed it. Has it given you the inspiration to move forward with these Circles on Quilt Spinning Wheel 36? Have you come up with some of your own designs with it? I'd love to hear from you. I'd love for you to let me know how I did. The feedback is very important to us. It helps us to be sure that we're offering you the content that you want to see. So, by all means, leave a message. Better yet, leave a picture. I'd love to see what you're doing. Okay, so, oh, this one lines up beautiful as well. Actually, can go back just a half a stitch. There we go. And you know what? If you're off of that center line just a hair, nobody's going to notice. I'm sure you've heard of the 20-20 rule. If you're 20 feet away traveling at 20 miles an hour and you can't see it, it's not a mistake. And if someone is a lot closer than that and has something to say about it, you tell them, hey, that's my design choice. Okay, we're going to put this back in. And again, line it up. Lines up very well. Don't forget now, if you're moving your hands faster, you need to make sure your needle's moving faster. If you move your hands a little on the slow side, make sure your needle has slowed down as well. We are almost through with this block. What I like to do is, and I probably will with this block just as a sample for my students, I will probably come back and do some free motion in this block. I can kind of give you an idea what I'm going to do. I love to do free motion, and I love to incorporate my rulers and my free motion together. I'm just quickly going to bury this thread over here, and you've seen me do it so many times. I'm sure you don't want to see it again. That gets boring after a while. Okay. Oops. And there it goes, buried in the batting. Nobody's the wiser. Get my 4-inch arc. I'm going to bring myself here with my 1/4 inch spacing gauge. And we're going to come to the next mark. Okay, up we go. There we go, perfect. On we're gonna go. Now this is my last start point. And what I have here, I'm going to back up a little bit. So what I have going on here is I started at this point. I came across and I traveled over here. I traveled between each one of these points. So I have an option here. I can just quit because I don't have to travel over to here simply because it's already there. However, what I want you to notice, I'm going to need to move you again to show you this, okay? The weight of the thread here is one line of stitching. The weight of the thread here is 2 lines of stitching. I am going to stitch from this point to this point, even though I don't have to, because I want the weight of the thread, and it's not thread weight, it's the weight of the stitching, I should say, to be the same. I want it consistent all the way around. So I am going to go ahead and travel on that last arc. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my bobbin thread up, and then I'm going to just, there we go, pull my bobbin thread up, snip those off, and then I'll bury those threads here in a minute. If I don't drop my scissors. Okay, there we go. Well, I only got one piece cut. There we are. So this is our finished design. I'm going to bring it out here so you can see it much better. Okay, what do you think? I love it. The Circles on Quilt Spinning Wheel 36, as you can see, just put along with our 4-inch arc, leads us into some really awesome places. One other place that I think is going to be awesome that I'm going to go ahead and do is I do want to do just a bit of free motion in here. And I haven't decided what or where yet, so I'm just going to come along with some ideas. Okay, so one idea, I could put a string of pearls in here coming through this line here, just making a string of pearls. I think that would really be pretty. It would send it off nicely. The other thing I could do here is just a straight back and forth, kind of like really small piano keys, and I think that would look good as well. And then maybe just bring an echo in here on this last one, just like this. And I think I would kind of leave it at that, because what I'm doing is I'm pulling these points out and putting these points in. Okay, so that's one option I have available. I hope you can see that. I'm going to bring it back over here for a different option. So what we could do here is come in here and echo this space just like this, and echo it here. and then just maybe do some little squiggly lines. Just squiggle around in there. Okay? And that's going to push that fabric down on top of here, which is going to make this somewhat more puffy. It's going to stand out more. And we could do pebbles in here, in each of these. There we go. I kind of like that, even though pebbles are not my friends. Me and pebbles don't like each other. Well, actually, they are fine with me. I just am not good at them. Okay, so we could do something like that. I think that actually would look very nice. So if we wanted to do a little free motion in here. So let's go ahead and just, I'm going to really quickly do that for you. And that will be the end of today's stitching. Okay, I'm going to pull my thread up. And if you don't do free motion stitching, well, you know what? That's fine. That's absolutely fine. It's not a problem. When we're doing circles, arcs, or pebbles, what we want to do is we want to make our stitches closer together. And the reason we want to make our stitches closer together is because if we do that, our circles are going to look much smoother. Our machines only stitch in a straight line, so if we want something to look curved or circular, we need to put more stitches in a shorter length. Okay, so here we go. Don't worry if your pebbles are not perfectly circular. Remember, this is a design. This is not a drafting exercise. We're not drafting a building here, so if it's off a little bit on one side or another, it's not going to matter at all, really. What we're doing is we're just trying to make it look appealing. And this one I have to go almost around twice in order to get to my next pebble, and that's okay. And I'm going to put one little tiny one here, and then I am done. Okay, so there we go. We've got some pebbles in there. Just one of the things you can do, and it builds up thread, so it gives different different densities here as we go along. I'm going to pull my bobbin up. Okay, whatever you do, if you're doing free motion into a space this size, is you don't want to make it too large. You do want to keep it in scale with the size of the space that you are quilting in. So, with a lot of extra threads, but there we go. There are some ideas for you. I certainly hope that you enjoy doing this and learning it as much as I've enjoyed bringing it to you. Please be sure to leave me a message. Let me know how you feel about it and how I did, and let me know what you would like to see next. And don't forget to leave me a picture. I love seeing pictures. So until we meet again, thank you for coming on our journey with our Circles on Quilt spinning wheel number 36. Till next time, let's quilt.